Butt dial Blake.
Hard to do that in that, huh?
So there we go.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this crazy mother.
Oh, I can't do it. Captain Eric Hasty, John King here. Welcome back to We Be Tailing, Halloween edition. Hence the hence the mask there. John King, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man.
Good deal. Whew, I couldn't breathe in that thing. I got to catch my breath. Guys, look, we had a real good week of fishing. We're going to talk about that. We've got a special guest star tonight. Captain Dan Clymer out of Crystal River. Raise the roof. We're going to talk a little bit shallow water grouper, some trolling. It's going to be a good show tonight. John, you did some fishing this week. Tell me about it.
Well, we went out there redfish fishing like we normally do. We caught a couple redfish, and then we looked down at the water temp, and it said 72 degrees. And let me tell you something, in Crystal River, 72 degrees means to me gags are ready to eat. Of course, they eat for Dan Clymer all the time, but for me, 72 degrees is a wonderful number. So we headed out there, started doing a little trolling, put some plugs in, went across a couple rocks and didn't catch nothing. So I was like, you know what, we're going to go back in a little shallower and see if they're there. And, of course, there was plenty of gags in shallow. We caught 5 real fast. My wife started throwing plugs. She started catching them on the reel in on a plug, and there's nothing better than that right there. So, it was pretty dang good.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of shots for you here, guys. Let's see what your fishes look like here. There's a nice inshore grouper right there, man.
That'll work every time.
That's hard to beat. And then we've got a Missy shot as well. And there's Missy.
Yeah.
Nice grouper. Can't go wrong with that, guys. Like I said, just very, very, very nice fish. Basically, what we're rolling into, we're here live, Captain's Cove Bait Shop, beautiful downtown Inglis. This segment will be presented by ShastyMcNasty Fishing. We're going to talk about my charters for the week. We had a couple of really good charters this week. Some fish starting to come in is sheepshead. We're catching some sheepshead now out there. So sheepshead are starting to make their way in, and the bites picking up pretty good on sheepshead. The reds are still biting. I did try my hand at trolling just about an hour. I was able to get out there with the weather, and I didn't do as good as John. I got one. So we got one, but that, like I said, the weather was picking up and it was a little choppy for my boat, so we came back in, and we did a really good job of catching some fish, inshore. Like I said, reds, sheepshead, the grouper troll just didn't really work out, like I wanted to, and I really wanted to. I had a client, it was his birthday party. It's a friend of mine as well. And he was like, man, I want some of those groupers. So it didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. But we had an offshore charter yesterday. And I don't know that you believe this or not, but red snapper are still out there, folks.
Red snapper have invaded our area, and there are plenty of those out there. They won't let a bait get to the bottom to catch a gag grouper in deep water.
Not at all. But we had another little birthday party yesterday, offshore trip. Kid turned 13. His name was Anthony, and his mom and his grandfather come out on the trip, and his little buddy Coop, and they had a really good time. But he wanted to catch amberjack and he wanted to catch grouper, and it was a little sporty out there yesterday. So we made it out. We caught some live bait. I think they had just as much fun catching the live bait as they did, catching fish. But on that light tackle, the live bait, is always fun. So they had a good time with that. We ended up getting out there. It was kind of a longer ride than usual because it was a little bit rough. And once we get out there, they told me he has a tendency to maybe get a little sick. I was like, okay. I hate it for the birthday boy to get sick on his birthday trip, but basically, kid was a trooper. Anthony, you've earned all my respect. The kid would fish, catch a fish, sit down for about 5 minutes, get back up, throw up, and fish, sit back down a few minutes, But I mean, if you've been seasick, as we all have been at least once or twice, there's really not much coming back from that, And this kid did excellent. I mean, he'd sit down 5 minutes, he'd be right back up fishing. But he did catch, he wanted the amberjack, so we didn't get him a huge one, but he got one. And for him, he was like, that gave me the fight, that he was looking for. So we got him on that. So that was that's his amberjack right there. So like I said, he had a blast, reeling that one in, and then we got him with a let's see here. Got him with he caught several grouper that day, but this was his keeper right here. So here we go. Keeper grouper, Anthony, birthday boy with his keeper grouper, AJ, he got what he wanted on the trip. So it was a really good time. And like I said, mad props for that kid, because he was not feeling well. He just wasn't doing it.
When you're young, you're resilient. You bounce right back, you catch fish, and you don't mind doing that. But, me, when I do that, I don't bounce back up and do that.
Yeah. But, so here we are. We want to talk today really about, grouper trolling, what John and I, kind of do, how we kind of rig and what we do. And then, John, just we'll take one of these, for instance, if you want to open that up. And we're not 100% prepared tonight, but we'll kind of give you an idea of how we rig these and what we do with them there. Ooh, the hooks are sharp on that, aren't they, buddy?
Ow, yes, this will catch a fish. It caught John, no problem. That rattle, that's a key right there, the old rattle. They love something that makes a lot of noise, and they like a good, strong bait with good, strong treble hooks on it. And these lures are real nice, well-quality made. I mean, no problem. Works every time, right out of the box.
Rapala, guys, it's hard to beat that. Now, you tell me you tie a special knot on that. A lot of people will just tie straight, knot to that. What do you do, John?
A lot of people will tie the knot straight to it. Also, a lot of people will also use a swivel. I absolutely own no swivels on my boat. I actually tie a loop knot on here. My loop knot leaves about this much room right here. That loop knot is perfect because with the loop knot, the lure can more freely move. Now, according to me, which I don't know too much about this, just a little bit, but the loop knot has worked incredible for me. I have taken instances where I've had a lure tied directly to the lure, and I've had instances where I've had the other lure in the other pocket tied with a loop knot, and the loop knot outproduced this lure that was tied straight to the lure many times over. So is it coincidence? Maybe. But, once you get something in your head when you're fishing, it seems to work better for you if you believe in what you do. Every time I go fishing, I believe I'm going to catch fish. I don't get myself down. I know that I'm going to catch fish. That's why I catch fish. So if you believe in what you do, it's going to work for you. I promise.
So you're saying you're a little mental?
It's probably a lot mental, but hey, a lot of people that know me do think that,
I mentally catch fish all the time.
I mentally catch fish at work. I'm sitting at work and I'm catching fish. I promise you.
Yeah. Are you watching older episodes of We Be Feeling?
I have. I'm not saying I'm impartial, but I have.
Yeah. There again. So we've got, we got the Rapala. We've got Nomad lures. There's Man lures. I mean, there's several companies out there that, Mirror Lure, that make a good trolling lure. And like I said, that's, just get out there. What kind of areas, what kind of depth are you rolling in, John? When you're doing this kind of?
So believe it or not, I catch a lot of my fish that I can actually throw a sinker over my head and it'll actually land on land. So I know a lot of people don't believe this, but there are a lot of grouper in close. I don't catch them as close as, say, Clay and Dan do because they're really good at what they do. I can say I catch my grouper a little bit like 3 or 4 miles further out than they do. I don't have very many shallow water holes. I have a few, but most of my grouper are caught from short point, just a little bit farther than long point. If you know what that is, that's the island that drops off right after Fisherman's Cut. I have caught kingfish there. I've caught Spanish mackerel, and I've caught gag grouper on these. Never caught a red grouper out there as a keeper, but the gags have been very nice, and they cooperate with me very well. If you get a hot rock, you troll over it, you catch fish. do yourself a favor, turn around and go do it again. Trust me, if there's one there, there's more than one there. Now, when the rocks gets hot, cold, move on to another rock pile, and you'll do the same thing over and over again. And that's about what I know with it. But we've got a pro coming up in a minute that knows a lot more than I do with it.
For everybody that really isn't familiar with our area, we're talking about between really Homosassa and Cedar Key. So basically, if you went out of Yankeetown or you went out of Crystal River, if you go north. If you go north out of Crystal River and south out of Yankeetown, and you find those dividing rocks where all the boats are, that's going to be Short Point, and then Long Point is the furthest point, from that point, So that's just to give you an idea of where that's at. I get that question a lot. What are you calling Short Point? What do you call it Long Point? So, but like I said, Rapalas, hard to beat. That how many fish do you think you've probably caught over the years on something like that?
Wow. I would say literally I've caught in the thousands. I'm not easily in the thousands.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, guys. I've been fishing out of Crystal River since I was 5 years old. People don't, have any idea about stuff like that, but there have been days when I literally have caught 50-something grouper trolling in 4 hours out of Crystal River in shallow water. And when I say shallow water, I mean 11 foot to 30 feet because it's dredged out. Now, a lot of them sit right on the edge of the ledge. So you're bumping this lure along at 15 foot of water, and just as it drops off that ledge, those fish seem to congregate right there. The bait gets pushed up by the tide or slack tide, and then these fish they hear this noise coming and they just can't say no. They've got to eat it.
That's all well and good, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to let the professional talk about this.
Yeah, let's let this guy, Dan Clymer, in here and see what he's got to say.
Let's go ahead and get old Dan in here. Give us just a second here. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the legend, Captain Dan Clymer. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, guys.
Being our number one first guest, guys. First guest.
I think what y'all are doing is a good thing. Some of our areas, kind of local rewind to what's going on week by week and play and fish reports and everything, and it's a good thing, man. So,
yeah, but we appreciate you. Like I said, we were really happy for you to be on the, again, be our first guest. We appreciate what we do. You've been doing this for a while. How long have you been doing this, Dan?
I'm 39. Got my captain license when I was 18, and I've been doing it full time for 12 years now.
Yeah.
And right now I'm averaging about 380 days a year.
Yeah.
And it's been good to me. And it's been a heck of a grouper season. Right now it's as good as it gets.
Right.
Water temperature, like I said, 72, 70 right now. The grass is starting to dissipate, so it's trolling time. Still pretty bad to the south off Homosassa. It's kind of hard to get a clean drag, but west of Crystal River, off the ditch, that area, and you can troll right now. And the 15 to 20 foot range has been superb. Natural colors been working good. The bunker, sardine, blueback, mackerel.
Right.
They've been working really well. A few of the brighter colors with the chartreuse back, silver belly, they've been working tremendous. One thing I want to talk about with the trolling is you do it a lot, right? Yes. A little trick I always like to tell people is get that rod out of the rod holder. I want you to hold that rod. When you're going over a rock and that plug's doing this, pull that rod out of the rod holder, pump it a couple times, give that thing some extra action. And I relate it to if you're trout or red fishing, you're working a twitch bait, right. Say you're working a neck trap or a mirrodine. When you're snooker trout fishing, you're not just doing a steady retrieve. You're bam, 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 giving it some extra action.
Right.
Same thing applies when you're trolling a lure over a grouper rock. That thing's down there digging. You pump that rod a couple times. It'll definitely help you get more strikes. And it's a lot funner too. So having the rod, the rod holder's getting all the fun. You got to hold it, man. It's fun. It's a good time.
I've seen you do that on In the Spread. I see you said boom, boom, and that guy did exactly what you told him, and what happened? Yeah. Boom, he was hooked up.
Yep. But you need a good assortment of plugs. I like the CD14 Rapalas and the metal lip for about 12 to 15 foot of water. Work really good. Along with these Husky jerks. It's kind of a new one they came out with a couple years ago. They work really, really well. With a little bit deeper water, pretty much 18 to about 25 foot of water. The X-Wrap 20s, these are the deal. For that depth of water, these things are the deal. Get you a couple different colors. Like I said, some bright colors, a couple natural colors. You'll be fine. I like to use 65-pound braid with either 60 or 80-pound fluorocarbon leader. Like John said, attach it with a loop knot. I don't like any terminal metal tackle as well. I do like to take my braid and do a spider hitch or a bimini twist. You want to double your line and then do a uni knot to attach it, because under a heavy load, you hook a big fish. If you're just doing a straight uni knot, uni to braid to leader under a heavy load, that braid sometimes will cut the knot on your fluorocarbon. So do a double line, look it up. It's called a spider hitch. It's really easy. Make a little loop 5 times around your finger, go through the hole, and there's your double line, trim it, and do your uni knot, and you're ready to go. So
we had a couple of questions coming in. Mario had a question. He wanted to know what lures. So I think you really you covered that, real well. Several folks are throwing in their opinions as well as other brands and everything. Yoser has been mentioned. We got Sean Bradish says hi. What's up, guys? So we've got several people joining and saying hi. So we appreciate that. Dan, you've just recently got back with us. You kind of had a little bout with cancer there.
Yeah,
and
back in early April 10th, unfortunately, I had a nodule on the inside of my ankle, and it turned out to be a very rare sarcoma cancer, which is basically about 2,000 people in the U.S. A year get it. I can't win the lottery, but I can win that.
But you can get that.
So long story short is I was off the water for almost 6 months, and got a lot of support from everybody in this town and prayers and everything, and I got through it. So we had 2 surgeries, 9 weeks of chemotherapy, and 7 weeks of radiation. So it's not fun, but I did it, got through it, and I came back at ever, and I basically went back to work the last week of August, and I've been doing it 6 days a week since then, and nothing but grouper charters, and I'm up to 182 right now. So that's pretty good. So
182 groupers in how long?
What's that? Basically, 33 months. Basically.
Wow. The man. That is awesome. Good deal.
Well, we're right in the prime time right now, and I know grouper are caught all over the state, but really our shallow water fishery, we're very blessed to have this here. And if you were to take that imaginary box, like you said, Yankeetown, from the intake canal, the barge canal, out to the 83 line, go south to Homosassa and cut back in. That box, that magic square right there, is a lifetime of grouper bottom. I mean, right now, last time I looked at my GPS, I have over 3,000 rocks.
Numbers,
from wrecks, springs, ledges, rocks. It's all out there, and to find this stuff, I get asked all the time, how do you find these places? How do you find your number one best friend out there? For those that know, but those that don't know, is a sea turtle. Anytime you're out there running and you see a sea turtle blow, he's up there. We call them sniffers. You see a sniffer up there, slam on the brakes. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes. Do some figure eights, zigzagging. Look at that bottom, because 9 times out of 10 he's there for a reason. Especially a big green turtle, or a big logger.
Right.
And now with the new sonar stuff that's come out the last 3 years, the side scan, between the side scan and the auto Minn Kota iPilot, you anchor up perfect, for the bay boats and the smaller boats that, for the style of fishing that I'm doing. You set up perfect every single time. I keep my side scans zoomed out about 70 feet on each side of the boat. If you go much more than that, they'll go to 100 feet or more, but it compresses the screen so much you're really not getting the detail. I like to leave it about 70 foot and just go looking, and you will find the bottom. It's not fair. It really is. It's not good. It's not good to be a group.
Now, when you say find a rock, are we talking about a rock, a 4-foot rock? I know there's a reef. I mean, when you say, can you get by with the smallest of rocks?
You can get by with the smallest.
There you go.
If the grouper can sit in it, that's the size of your lunchbox is all you need sometimes to hold keepers. And another thing about the side scan, a lot of the times your traditional down view sonar won't really give you a good picture of a shallow ledge like that. With the side scan sonar, you can pick up anything that has a right angle on it, or anything that draws a line on the bottom.
Right.
It's bottom. I mean, it's that easy to find stuff.
Good deal. Well, Dan, we appreciate you coming on, bud. And like I said, it's we're definitely glad to have you back. We're getting a lot of comments on here, so glad to have you back. Gene Miller, and like I said, just getting good comments on that. 20 minutes really does seem to go by quick, so we try to keep these shows 20 minutes, keep the interest peaked. Basically what we've got here in front of us, and you can't see it, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 different Rapala lures, right here.
Home for you guys. This is a Capt Dan starter kit. You got plugs from casting for the shallow rocks. For those of you that like to fish deep in 30 foot of water, I got you an X-Wrap 30. For the shallower stuff that I'm in right now, from the 15 to 20, 25 foot, we got some X-Wraps, some other CD plugs for you. So we got you some goodies, man. I hope you get out there and catch them.
Yeah. So, guys, what we need to hear from you today, we asked Dan a question. How many grouper has he caught in his time back in this 3 months? First one to give us that answer wins the Captain Dan starter trolling kit right there. So we're looking for those answers. First one to give us the right one, we'll get them. You'll have to come pick them up here at Captain's Cove. But we're on the hunt. We're on the look. See what shows up here.
It's only going to get better, too. We got another big front coming through Friday. It's going to blow pretty hard Friday and Saturday. And then beginning of next week, it's going to lay right back again. Fishing's going to be terrific. Keep blowing that grass further out. As long as we keep having these northeasters, it's good for us in the grouper world. Inshore guy that blows all the water out, and you get a little tricky to get in there, but it's good for us because it blows all the grass out, and you'll be able to have clean drags out there.
All right, looks like we got us a winner, Rich Serafini got the answer there at 182. So, Daddy. Rich, we'll put your name on a piece of paper. Come on down. And we have ended our video. Oh, no, we're back. We're back. We phased out for a minute there. Yeah. But like I said, guys, come back and see us. It's going to be a good time. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Ken, Dan, thank you. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
10 minutes.